Hi, Carl here from GlassCast and welcome to another countertop tutorial. In this video I'll be focusing specifically on the colours and the blending techniques to create this realistic black stone effect using our Cosmic Black Granite countertop kit. All of the other information like preparing your work surfaces, masking off and how to get perfect effects over those rolled edges is in our main countertop tutorial. So that's worth watching alongside this one, but during this video I'll just be focusing on how to create this particular look. The Cosmic Black effect really is elegant and stylish. It's these intricate veins of shimmering stone and metallic detail that give it a convincing granite appearance. Your kit contains everything you need to complete this look, including a handy colour card that tells you exactly how much resin, pigment and shimmer you'll need for each stage of the process. We're going to begin with a jet black primer coat. Then for the main pour we'll make up a batch of clear resin lightly tinted with some graphite shimmer. Now this is going to give the entire countertop a subtle sparkled effect. Then we're going to mix up our stone and our metallic shades, and this is going to allow us to form these gorgeous complex vein structures. So let's go back to the start and I'll show you how to give your countertops this exclusive makeover. We'll begin this effect by applying our primer coat. As with many of our countertop kits, the Cosmic Black Granite uses a heavily pigmented primer which completely blocks out your existing counter and provides us with the perfect foundation to build the rest of the effect from. The kit's colour card will show you exactly how much GlassCast resin and jet black colour you'll need to create the primer and for different sized countertops. Now that's all the primer coat applied, we're just going to leave this to cure off as described in the main countertop tutorial. To continue with this Cosmic Black Granite effect, we'll start by creating our base mix. Now this will be lightly tinted with a small amount of graphite shimmer. Then we'll separate off some of this base mix to create the colours for our fractured stone effects. Again, following the kit's colour card, I can see exactly how much resin, hardener and pigment I'll need to create the base mix for my 2 square metre worktop. As explained in the main countertop video, we know that resin starts to cure as soon as the hardener is added. So I'll weigh in and mix the graphite now to help reduce the time that mixed resin spends in the pot. Your base mix should be a smoky, translucent colour, and this is what helps to give the effect the appearance of depth. Now before I continue mixing, I'm just going to modify my graphite shimmer tub by putting several holes in the lid to make what I like to call a shimmer shaker. We're going to use this later to add some finer details, but if you have an old pepper shaker knocking about, that would also work a treat. Back to the resin and let's add that hardener. Mix thoroughly and then double pot to ensure that there's no unmixed resin still left in your bucket. Also, now that the hardener has been added, we know that we've got about 30 minutes to pigment the shades and get this resin out of the pots and onto the surfaces. Following the kit's colour card, separate some of the base mix to create your shades. You'll find that it doesn't take much of the gold or bronze shimmer to pigment the base mix. To create your natural stone shade, start by adding equal parts of super white and gold colour. When mixing, you'll see that it turns into an organic beige grey stony shade. If you want it to appear more brown, add more gold. Lighter, just add more white. You could even make it darker with some more graphite shimmer. But if you do decide to go darker, make sure you save some of that graphite for some of the finer detailing later. Okay, so that's all of our colours mixed up, and I'm still aware that the resin is slowly curing, so let's get these out of the pots and onto the counter. Begin by pouring about 2/3 of the base mix onto the counter and spread it round with a notch spreader until you have a consistent coverage. Follow your design layout and drizzle thin lines of the gold and bronze tints. Not much of the resin is needed for these veins, and you'll find that when blending they go a long way to creating the effect. Now add some of your stone shade between these lines. A drizzle and globbing method will help keep the consistency a little bit more random. Taking your brush, mottle and disturb the colours before blending the shades together with the hairdryer. This will help to create a more natural looking marbled effect. The hairdryer really is a versatile tool, and the cleanest method that we found that achieves that natural organic marbled look. You can gently move and manipulate the resin for fine detailing, or forcibly disturb and blend the colours for soft gradients. However, make sure that your hairdryer is on its coldest setting, as we don't want to accelerate the cure. You can further blend by dragging some of the resin with your brush and then apply a little bit more wind action with the hairdryer. Pour the remaining base mix around your veins, then add additional thin lines of your stone shades. We'll also take the shimmer shaker bottle we prepared earlier and lightly dust some graphite shimmer over the lighter areas. This combination of translucent base topped with more shades and a light dusting of graphite will give the veins marbling a 3D effect and add more depth and detail. Use your hairdryer to mix and blend. You can also direct some of the base mix over the top of the accents to soften their transition. If you feel a vein or a feature is too bold like I do here, just simply scrape some of the shades away, add more of the base mix and then marble. This is a great way to improve detail that you may not be happy with. The final touch is to drizzle thin lines of your stone shade to replicate cracks or fractures. Give these fractures a more natural appearance by gently blowing with your hairdryer. For extra detail, you can give your veins another light dusting with the graphite shimmer. So that's all of the resin onto the countertops, and we're just going to let this gel off over the next few hours, at which point we'll peel off the barrier tape and the effect will just continue to roll over the front edge. Full details on how to achieve perfect continuous effects over those rolled edges is of course in the main countertop tutorial. So there we have it folks, in little under 2 hours of actual work we transformed those boring laminate worktops into this gorgeous, convincing black granite effect. The end result of this effect is quite amazing and difficult to really appreciate on camera. The translucent base mix with its shimmering graphite really lives up to the name Cosmic Black and creates a noticeable sense of depth. The softer stone areas, peppered with graphite and edged with hints of bronze, echo fissures and fractures of real granite and complete this elegant effect. These would look great in any stylish kitchen or exclusive bar, but if that's not the look you're after, remember we've got plenty of other countertop kits available at GlassCastResin.com. Comments and likes are very much appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe and click that bell if you want to see more resin tutorials as we make them. All GlassCast countertop kits include all necessary resin, pigment and effects, a video tutorial covering the full installation process, a separate video tutorial specific to that effect, a colour card with measurements and mixes, and any technical support you may need along the way. GlassCast countertop kits are available to buy online at GlassCastResin.com. Ordering is simple and secure with fast delivery available throughout the UK and Europe.